to the bottom lane, maybe that could just be a winning formula.
All right, get LeBlanc down to the bot lane. Get Vi also down the bot lane. Let's just have a party in the bot lane, honestly, here in the game one. LeBlanc Avenger actually taking Airy. I don't remember seeing Airy LeBlanc in
Ooh.
previous games. Maybe it's something to do with the Silas matchup that is just a very niche pick that I just don't understand. Probably is. I'm not a
Yeah.
pro player, but do have a little bit of an invade from both teams, just on opposite sides of the map. So each team will get some respective deep vision. I don't think that the deep vision will make a huge impact on the early game, just giving some extra information to the solo laners on where the junglers are starting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Airy is Avenger deciding that controlling the lane is the most important thing. And again, if we're looking to control bot river, control the highway through the map, that does make a lot of sense to me, because with that Airy into the melee matchup with the Silas, you're just going to be able to throw down that much more additional damage early on. And Nosferus going to have a struggle in the lane. But both junglers going to be starting topside, likewise pathing down towards bot, which again, if we are looking at this as the X Factor players for both teams,
Oh no.
Kiwi and Teton, could be very good as, yeah, Nosferus already not enjoying the Airy.
Yeah, now I fully understand. I didn't understand the area before I saw the first level 1 auto, so
Yep.
there you
Two procs,
go.
easy peasy, right? There's another one.
Absolutely. I mean, I am also reminded now that it is a melee and a ranged matchup, which is going to be significantly harder for Nosferus to really deal with in the first 5 levels of the game. Titan as well taking real low level 1. Ignite's going to be burned as well onto Ninja Kiwi. That is the only summoner used in the level 1 2v2 down here in the bot lane. But you see both 80 carries sitting real low, and they also both decided to take cookies, which I typically wouldn't like, but if you are trading super heavy level 1, then it will at least keep you in the lane for the next couple of levels slightly healthier.
Both junglers are pathing down towards this bottom side. It's actually Yampy going for the 3-camp clear on bot side, going to get in here and potentially look for a counter gank against Aegis, even though the health bars were both chunked on the side of the ADCs. It's INTZ getting control of the wave, and that is so incredibly important. Yampy is spotted. So, Red, they know what's going on. We'll see how Aegis decides to path around this one. Maybe he just opts to go farming instead of for any sort of fight. Yampy in full vision right now.
Yeah, this is some very scary positioning here from Yampy. He does have the level 2 previous advantage now. It is, of course, even in the bot lane, but he does have still the bot lane prio to make this play around the enemy blue buff. Aegis as well will be able to secure that one for Aegis himself. Avenger first mid to collapse here on the 4v3 down in their bot lane. We wanted a bot lane party. We got the bot lane party. Ninja Kiwi will be the first member to follow Avenger, trying to make it out with such low HP, even with the clone, forcing out the flash from him there as well. It looks like only 1 kill will go down, that being the first blood for Avenger.
Yampy may have gotten the blue buff, but Ninja Kiwi gets baited into a bad fight. It's a nice kill for Red. Avenger playing it well in this microscope in the mid matchup only gets worse. Nosferus as well having to push the wave out. Avenger going to be able to catch this after the base. It's not a good situation at all in mid for INTZ. Well done to Red to counter the early invade.
I also really like the Darksteel pickup by Avenger from getting the first blood there. You can't usually pick up Darksteel on a first buy unless you get first blood, and it's able to help snowball you a lot harder than buying some other type of item. So Darksteel here, especially into what we're now starting to realize is kind of a little bit of a counter matchup against Nosferus, will be even more beneficial. Aegis looking for some sort of gank in the mid lane. I don't think that there's going to be a gank in the mid lane anytime soon.
Yeah, but they're just making it so that Nosferus can't step up to that wave. Aegis and Curry just appearing, and it's the Silas dropping even more CS. Avenger just has such a commanding position. And now with the shove in bot lane, Dragon spawning in about 20 seconds. Red, if they were feeling a little spicy, could actually just do Dragon on spawn. Even though there's a lot of blue wards in the river, control fully in favor of Red. With Aegis deciding to take a base, it's not going to be that early Dragon, but it is just going to be Red continuing to exert pressure on the map, forcing Nosferus to step back. Nosferus will have the TP, so not miss too much in mid. And, I mean, Cam, while all this is going on the bottom side, pretty well for Red, I might say. Also in top side, Bull having a bit of an advantage over ZZK on this Renekton. So early lane states are pretty good across the board for the red Canids.
Definitely beneficial for them, at least on the mid and bot. I think top lane is kind of the, I don't want to call coin flip match, but just the match that nothing has really happened yet to show who's going to end up winning that matchup. So I would probably expect around the level 6 mark when ZZK pops level 6 is when we're going to see our first action happening on the top side. But it's been such a quiet matchup up there that it's hard to tell who's actually going to be able to come up on top in the coming minutes. Nia playing really well in the Karma the first couple levels.
Yeah, Nia's doing a really great job of just exerting pressure over this lane, trading their own health to aggressively force Titan and Curry off the wave, recognizing that the kill threat is low. Look, the Nautilus is going to be really frustrating to deal with later on for INTZ, but in the lane, Karma oftentimes doesn't really have to fear getting one shot until the Varus hits 6, which means that they can just play so far up and, again, exert control. And it actually has culminated in a pretty substantial CS advantage for Ninja Kiwi, despite some of the priority that Red has had. And now we're in on a Titan.
Titan just instantly going to be blown up the net and flash burned by Nia Curry. Not going to be able to do anything to save his AD carry. That kill did unfortunately go to Nia. Would have definitely preferred that on either Ninja Kiwi or even Yampi. But it doesn't matter who gets the kill as long as you do get it for yourselves, and you can convert that into the first dragon that we were fully expecting Red to be able to claim for themselves. They've had the mid and bot pro for so long, and now with just one simple gank, you can easily convert that into this first dragon here for INTZ.
Yeah, great use of the gank. You know, 2 flashes expended, a kill gained, and they're able to get the advantage that they wanted. And I mean, this is so huge. The more you can deny Red these early skirmishes, these early team fights that LeBlanc and Vi so thrive in, the better off your game state will be as INTZ. The big one that I'm looking at, though, Cam, is the Herald in about 45 seconds. I would have to expect these teams will want to get involved, but one wrinkle that we sort of alluded to was that Renekton, ZZK, is also going to love to get involved in some of these earlier scraps. So I really think it's going to come down to whichever team is able to find a better target and take them down instantly in the fight before the other team can react. If you can create a 3v4 or a 4v5 in that fight, I think that's going to be the winning formula, at least early on for these teams. So big thing to look out for, which bot lane is able to get there first, which support is able to get there first, and who has positioning in the river. Aegis just hitting 6. I'm expecting this Vi to start to want to fight.
And that she is. She's going to start up the Rift Herald on her own. Aegis will, as you pretty much perfectly predicted this play. I wasn't going to perfectly predict this play. I thought that we were going to wait till like 9 minutes maybe to start the Rift Herald. Not immediately on spawn.
Scrap. Here we go.
You know what? CBLOL does not worry about dragons. What they do worry about is every single Rift Herald. And we have a full 5v5. Notice which champions are not level 6 yet. Those are going to be the important spells to watch out for. First hook lands, and it's going to be an instant death for ZZK. He gets absolutely enough of other than his ult. Aegis jumping straight into the backline, but the Cyclone onto the back of Red actually makes Aegis the one that ends up falling. It's a 1-for-1 ZZK for Aegis, but there's just no one left to actually take the Rift Herald.
Yeah, with the jungler dead, they can't actually do it. It was a good fight for Red. Aegis, I think, just went a little too deep. I mean, that was that one shot that we wanted. ZZK, despite having the Dominus, just gets popped. I mean, that is the power of Varus Nautilus, but Aegis, in the quest to interrupt Ninja Kiwi, found himself in a bit of a precarious position and did end up going down. I mean, we are in deep as the Vi, and at the end of the day, it's just a 1-for-1, and it's not the Herald being taken. I honestly have full expectation that these teams are just going to walk right back out to this Herald when we're out of the replay, and that is in fact the case. Titan does get sent bottom just to answer the wave, but it's 4 members up top for Red, and with no dominance on ZZK, he does have to flash. We'll see if they can take him down.
I definitely think ZZK will have to end up burning the flash here. Aegis doesn't have the cease and desist available, and as I say that, I think ZZK should be perfectly fine for now. It is, like you say, so important for him to wait for that ult to come back off of cooldown. Neither of the supports are level 6. That matters a whole lot more for Kiri than it does for Nia. Just some extra poke coming out from Nia. I mean, it again looks like Red is in the prio position to take this Rift Shield right now, and they just simply are taking it so slowly. It's like one member goes, and then they pull back to lane, and then they go, and then they pull back, and it gives such a wide window for INTZ to try and find a contest, or even just to pick on any of the split members, but it does look like in the end it will be a quote-unquote uncontested, if you forget the previous team fight here, Rift Shield for Red.
You can see how respectful Red is being of INTZ's engaged potential. I mean, look, we've talked about Red as being the pick comp, and they are. I mean, when you got Vi, LeBlanc, Nautilus, Varus, like, they are the pick comp, but they don't want to drop any waves. They don't want to leave a member isolated because INTZ has plenty of engage of their own. Now, it's Red looking to answer back on this bottom lane. They're bringing members. INTZ, they're holding their ground, however. I don't think there's going to be a fight. I think they're just protecting Ninja Kiwi to get those 2 plates, and he will indeed. So Herald for 2 plates at the end of the day. It ends up being a pretty standard trade, and what it's really going to come down to is how much Red can get.
No, first, he's dead. One more tick. Oh my gosh. The Ignite from Avenger, I thought for sure was going to kill him, but the shield from something. Oh, Nia was there? Oh, Nia was there. I was like, I didn't even see Nia on the map, and I was like, how did Nosferus get a shield? But you know what? That shield really did come in clutch for Nosferus. Avenger as well would have gotten, yeah, all calculated for sure. I think Avenger getting that kill would have been like a pretty massive swing in his favor, even more so with that Dark Seal. Like it would have been terrible if Nosferus died there. It was such a coin flip play for him to go for that. But we do have the next Rift Herald here in under a minute. Unfortunately, we did lose the objective timers again, so it's gonna be here. Okay, now in 10 seconds. Does look like INTZ has first row on it. Titan trying to shove out this wave, doesn't know that he might just simply be dead. This cannon is not worth your life, my friend, and he might just be giving another free dragon over to INTZ here as well. They may have dropped that first Rift Shield, but assuming that they can pick up this next dragon, 2-0 in dragons, it's a really nice lead to come out on top in the first 12 minutes.
Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake from Titan. Red, they clearly wanted to fight for this dragon, but you can't show on that bottom wave when your team is going to go play around mid. And I mean, just giving up a free kill. Red, they're still posturing around this 3v4, but I don't think there's a winning angle here. INTZ actually getting threatened off.
1600 left on the dragon. This is a potential smite steal here for Aegis. He does have the flash as well as decent assists, but does look like INTZ playing that really well, really slowly, and just controlled generally from INTZ. Yes, it looked like they were pulling off for just a second, but I think they were just trying to lose the dragon aggro long enough that it was not going to be in smite range for Aegis. So you get Aegis out of smite range, then you immediately burst down the dragon, try to get away, but Kira or Nia even might not just be able to do that. Is forced to flash away. Ninja Q as well will get the heal, but Kira is the one that ends up going down.
That is a big force shot onto the Nautilus. Red, they are trying so hard to force right now, but I mean, INTZ, they say thank you very much, and they get another kill. Red, their game plan is slowly starting to fall apart. They'll be able to get some gold onto Avenger with this Herald, but at the end of it all, it's really just going to be a trade back from what we saw on bottom side. And now with no Dragon up for 4 minutes, no Rift Herald up for a few minutes as well, the opportunities for Red, again, to find these early game scraps that they so desperately want aren't really here. And Cam, as we're now going towards this mid game, I mean, Avenger was huge early on, but that X Factor player in Titan on this Varus hasn't really come online. And so far this year, we've not seen Red be able to carry through any other position.
It is significantly harder to carry through these solo lanes for Red. ZZK has everything available. I don't know if he knows that Aegis is waiting in the bush for him. So I think I definitely like the recall. Very safe. You don't need to continue shoving out this wave. And like I said earlier, this top lane matchup has been, by a long shot, just the quietest matchup across the map. Which, I mean, do you see a Renekton Jason really go, this is going to be a very aggressive matchup? Probably not, but I do see a Renekton. Yeah, you see a Renekton, and sometimes you do just want to be like, okay, there's going to be a lot of fighting in the top lane. But Titan, just kind of getting picked. I mean, there's not much else to say about that. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
it's just Titan dying again. I mean, it's honestly at this point, Red, they're really struggling to find leverage into this map. And I mean, as for INTZ, remember, this is on a team on a 3-game losing streak, currently sitting at 3-6 on the standings. It's not really been their season so far, but they have had moments. They've had flashes of strength. They've just not really been able to have it come together all the time. And with the fight starting in mid, if they're able to kite this one out.
Hook does go wide. Avenger might go down. No, the final tick of Ignite again doesn't secure the kill. And instead, it's Nia that ends up going down with the shutdown on his head, going to Aegis as well. That extra 150 into a Vi's pocket is very scary for INTZ. They had such a good early game. They have a gold lead still in their favor, but now giving a couple of shutdowns to the wrong members might cost them a lot of their lead. ZZK as well now having a very hard time late against Bull with that level 11 power spike for him.
Yeah, now, INTZ, they did get the bottom turret, but it's a bad way to die, and just more and more picks being traded back and forth. Giving up gold to this pick comp is not the way you want to win. Again, as I was sort of saying before that fight started, INTZ, they've been on this skid, and they so desperately want to knock off a team that also has been struggling recently above them in the standings and prove that they are able to contend for playoffs in the back half of the split, and that they can stay a part of the enormous soup in the middle of the pack that we do have here in the CBLOL. And I mean, so far they're doing well. Those kills, you know, it's not great, but up 2 dragons, up 1,000 gold. It is a decent game state. Aegis just needs to be a little bit careful. It's Red. They're pressuring onto this bottom lane turret. They're going to get some damage on it, but INTZ is here to respond.
I am sensing another big team fight here, Hawk. I smell something afoot here. Curie might be the first one afoot. The supports are the first to go down. You see ZZK on the bottom side of the fight as well, and his own little 1v2 soaking a lot of damage. Yampi on the other side trying to take down Avenger, but doesn't know which one is real. Curtain Cole comes out for a couple of slows, but not any significant damage. The supports are the only members to fall. You got 30 seconds left on this next Infernal Dragon. There's definitely going to be another fight. Take a note of which TPs are available. And in fact, it is only ZZK's TP that's available. Nose first will come up here in a couple of seconds. So they're all going to be forced to walk back here and take the fight again. Avenger. Ooh, that's a little scary.
Yeah, but that chunks out Avenger before the Dragon. I do want to point out critically, Red saved some key ultimates, namely the Death Charge and that Cease and Desist.
Cease and desist in the hook and to knock him into death for Ninja Kiwi. Nothing INTZ can do to shut him down other than taking down Titan and even Curie as well. I mean, INTZ, you lose your AD carry, but taking down the bot lane will absolutely be so worth. Looking to be in a strong position to take this Infernal Dragon Soul Aegis. Nothing he can do to save this tower. The outer turret line has almost been successfully entirely broken now by INTZ. They only need that outer turret on the top lane left.
Red, what are we doing? We're just sending it mid lane while our mid laner was just forced to base. Our strongest member on our team, by the way. I mean, sure, we got a pretty big shutdown for Titan, so gold-wise, the trade is relatively even, but in terms of pressure, it is horrible. We're giving up Dragon Soul. We're giving up mid-tier 1. Yeah, we'll be able to answer back with the Rift Herald, and we'll see if INTZ can defend top tower, but, I mean, again, it's just INTZ getting so much, and we're looking at this Red composition. It's a pick comp. It's a comp that wants to fight in the mid game. And when every single fight is lopsided because we're not able to set them up properly, it's just a huge struggle. Someone pick up the eye.
I thought for sure he was just gonna leave that eye there, and I was gonna be like, oh my goodness, it's just falling apart. Everything around us is going down, but no, it's okay. We did end up picking the eye. Like you said earlier, Red do need to win this game to continue holding their spot in second. If they lose this game and Loud win their game later today, it's gonna be Red that falls into the massive, like, I don't know, bubble, mush, mud pile, whatever you want to call this, like 3rd through 7th, pretty much just 5-way tie that we have right now in CBLOL. Red really want to stay ahead of the pack. This win would secure their spot in second for at least this weekend. They've had a very hard time keeping that here so far.
we have like Los Grandes clearly in first place, sitting at 8-1,
Yes.
right? And then Vivocade maybe arguably kind of at the bottom, 2-7, and then we got a soup of 3-6, 4-5, and 5-4, and then Red in 6-3. So it is quite competitive, and that's what we love about CBLOL, right? Lots of parity. One could argue inconsistency, but nah, it's parity. It's these teams; they're all just too good for one another, and. Cam, as the game sort of slows down, I mean, I expect the next fight to be around this Dragon Soul in 3.5 minutes. Red, they've got to do something to sort of disrupt the status quo of this game. They don't want to just keep farming. They want to fight a pick. They want to try to force a little bit of tempo in this game and get INTZ to march to their beat of their drum a little bit, because it feels like so far they've been largely marching to INTZ's.
Hex Flash not gonna get him over the wall, instead costing Titan his heal as well as his life. Nosferus continuing the chase, just able to steal away that cease and desist, but the Baron is now available. You kill Titan. You kill the main damage dealer really for Red right now. Nosferus should be perfectly fine. Yeah, might just take a lot of damage for that, but he will be okay. Baron is up right now. We do have that Infernal Soul in just under 3 minutes, but I would definitely expect something to happen here before we get to that soul, and that pick might just be onto Nia here. Ignite traded for Ignite. Season Desist traded for life. ZZK gonna try and get some sort of any kill back for his support going down. Aegis running away as fast as he can, but it will not ever be fast enough. 1-for-1 traded yet again, but still it will be INTZ coming out on top.
It's just, again, Red, they're investing so much for so little. Uncharacteristic mistakes, it feels like, across the board. Titan, why are we in mid-bush with no flash? You're an AD carry, my friend. I mean, it's just pick after pick after pick. We're getting caught out repeatedly. And again, I want to give credit to INTZ for finding the punish, but it feels like they don't have to do anything, really. It's Red. They're clearly saying, all right, we want to fight, but they're just the setup is not good, and it again is just resulting in this advantage. We can see the fight in top one more time, and it's just Avenger finding out Nia, but Nia with the flash, it's traded back by Aegis, but we're in so deep. Our AD carry's not here, our top laner's not here, all of INTZ has fogged. Like, I don't know, it just feels like desperation or something, discoordination, but the miscues from Red are serious. Dragon in a minute and a half. This is where the game is going to be decided. If INTZ gets the soul, I think that's just going to be it. I think Red is going to run out of gas in the tank. But maybe if they can find a critical fight and not just get the Dragon, I'm looking at they need to find a fight that gets them the Baron, Cam. That could just be their way back into this game. But INTZ, they're not going to take their foot off the gas pedal and settle for just a Dragon. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to take down that last outer turret. They're going to force Red to answer them wherever they go.
And it might just be this Baron, Hawk. If it's not the Dragon, which it still might be, we do have 40 seconds left on the Infernal Soul. I definitely think we could realistically see INTZ trade the Dragon for a Baron. I absolutely think that Baron at this point in the game will benefit them a lot more than a Dragon. They really do need to break that inner line of turrets that is still standing almost entirely at 100% HP. Red having nothing else that they can really do right now, just trying to get a pick in a bush. Hope that INTZ is the one that makes a mistake, and INTZ, of course, will not be the ones to make the mistake. Taking the safe pass, taking the path down mid lane, and I mean, INTZ are the ones on the first foot here. Red are in the river first, but I definitely think INTZ want to get that first engage, but the flash over the wall was putting everything into ZZK, and they still can't kill him. Aegis will be the first member to fall, and Kern Cole coming out as well. Excellent re-engage by Yampi. 4-man Cyclone Avenger just forced to watch his team die over the wall. TP coming in now from ZZK so that he can come back into this fight with full HP. Aegis and Nia, the only two members to fall, but one of those being the jungler, makes it significantly favored for INTZ if they want to try and take this Dragon. But
INTZ
still,
did lose
they can't. They still
INTZ
can't.
lost against their poke.
Nope, Hook does land once again onto ZZK. This time he will end up going down, but now Titan is the return member. That is the damage dealer now gone as well, but Ninja Kiwi will be the next to fall. Curie as well, running for the hills. Yampi can only continue to chase him down with that extra Q range on the auto attack. it's going so well for INTZ. They just simply need to finish the fight, finish the dragon so that they can pick up the soul, but it takes so long. Avenger, last member to fall, or last member still standing. Aegis is now back up. Death timers are not long enough to continue this fight for this long.
Aegis has to steal. Aegis has to steal this. I mean, it's going to be Avenger forced to base, so low on HP, so low on mana. Titana's up, but the dragon's getting focused down. It's going to be a smite fight, Cam.
Smite fight, smite fight, smite fight.
Oh, Avenger's
no.
just dead.
Oh no. Bye-bye. Aegis does now have vision in the pit.
They know where he is.
For a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
I have to assume that, yes, they do know exactly where Aegis is. He's going to go in, but he's going to go in way too early. Titan has arrived here as well, but in the cycle, there's nothing that he can really do. Aegis forced to retreat. He can't go back in the pit. 3k left still on the dragon, but no one is even autoing it. And it looks like Red just might be clean sweeped here. Aegis can't even get anything back, not even onto the support. It's an almost ace bull. Will be the only member not to fall twice in the team fight, and it is finally Infernal Soul picked up for INTZ.
It's a crazy fight, but INTZ, they find the, I don't know, 8 kills or whatever, and they get the soul as well. Baron's gonna fall, and Cam, 26 minutes into the game, I think that's all she wrote. Red, they risked it all, but INTZ, they broke them right in half. No,
Oh my gosh, that damage.
605, and yeah, that is quite a bit of damage.
I honestly wasn't expecting Nosferatu to be the highest one on the damage lead. I probably would have thought Yampi or Ninja Kiwi, but no, it's the Silas. He is the one doing the healing in the front line, and we do get a replay of that last team fight here again.
And I want to praise INTZ for this sort of final sequence here, because this is already after there's been a crazy team fight, but they're so aware of where Red's trying to contest from. First picking off Avenger, and then looking to turn onto Aegis. Notice, as soon as Aegis gets in the pit, the DPS on the Dragon completely stops. They actually even let it reset, forcing Red away from the pit, and then now, once they're funneled in this choke point, the fight's just lost. There's 5 members of INTZ that have been able to regroup. Aegis tries to run back in and just full send, and I mean, there's no window in at all. There's Ferris on the Silas just doing so well, and now they're 6,000 gold in the lead, and you mentioned these outer towers earlier. That's going to be a hell of a lot more as they're able to leverage this Baron buff.
Baron buff already able to take that inner turret in the mid lane, will easily take that bottom turret as well. I think we could be seeing an inhibitor going down here, if not just an inhibitor turret here on the bot lane. Red does not have a whole ton of wave clear. They have a pick comp, and they have yet to really get that many picks for their pick comp. It just doesn't feel like they've been able to play to their advantages from draft. It feels like every single time they've made a play, it's to the disadvantage of their draft. Just imagine if they had a team fighting comp this game for Red. It would have been such a different game just based on the events that we've seen, but it just hasn't been a pick game.
Yeah, it really hasn't. And again, it comes down to setup. Red, they've just been sloppy every time it feels like they want to fight. Somebody's dying. Somebody's getting chunked out. And a lot of credit to that should go to INTZ for finding those opportunities to not allow Red to stack up as a group and look for fights. But Cam, also, some of the builds this game from Red have been a little weird. On-hit Varus in the style of composition, I think is not the play. We've also got a Gore Drinker Jace, which, I gotta be honest, I've never seen that. It sounds pretty terrible. Aegis now forced to run for the hills, able to deny one wave, so that will delay the Baron buff just a little bit. Yampi on the hunt still. Is Aegis gonna be able to get out? I think
he's
will
okay.
be. And so, I mean, whether it's the builds, whether it's the setup, you could talk about it all day, but the bottom line is, as you said, Cam, INTZ, they've denied the opportunity for picks, and now Avenger taking a 1v1 that he does not win.
Oh, yeah, Avenger even committing the flash that 1v1 as well, but still, you fighting melee range against a level 16 Renekton. That is a very uphill battle for you to win. It would require pretty intense, I guess, micro ability. Like, I can't think of another word for LeBlanc like that. LeBlanc in that scenario probably could win that 1v1. It would just take such intense micro that is not possible 100% of the time. So
You can't
instead,
W in on Renekton.
Yes, that too. You can't fight melee range against the Renekton, one of probably the best 1v1 champions melee range in the game. Redemption for an initial engage is not something you always get to see, but 2 members dying on the initial engage as well is not something that you really want to see. Even Kern Call, I don't think it's yet to pick up a kill this game, but landing almost every single shot does guarantee 4 slows if possible. 3 inhibitors taken just after the Baron
Venture.
has run out of Nichikiwi immediately blown up. I don't even think he got to play the game right there, but Nexus
Right
Towers
end.
are the next target here for INTZ. This could just be the end of the game if they can finally take these Nexus turrets. Avenger playing a little bit of peekaboo. Don't know where he is, but it's not going to matter. Hook comes out from Carry, but he's the only member alive to see it happen. Nexus is the next target. INTZ taking the dominant win over Red in the first game today.
Dominant indeed, INTZ. They clap back. They